this podcast intends to focus on the Nordic perspective. Finland, Sweden, but also Denmark, Norway, in the context of NATO accession on the part of Finland and Sweden. It so happens that the Academy has a yellow book called Proceedings and Journal. It publishes these Proceedings and Journal 4 times per year, and the 3rd issue has come out a few weeks ago and is focusing on NATO issues from a Nordic perspective, with contributions from Denmark, from Norway, from Finland, and from Sweden. And to cut it short and go directly to the point, we know that there is a debate about structures and command structures in particular, which on the one hand links up with the US organization in Norfolk of a command system focusing on the air forces up in the high north and the maritime force, with the personnel union between the commander of the 2nd US fleet and at the same time being the commander, overall NATO commander in Norfolk. On the other side, there is the operational command headquarters in Brunsum in the Netherlands, with subordinate commands in Poland, in Szczecin. And the question which is being put in the Academy and discussed, I think, in NATO, although we don't know, of course, everything which is being discussed in NATO, is how to look at the Swedish and Finnish territories in the context of these existing command structures, and how to modify the command structures in view of Swedish and Finnish accession. So you can say that the articles that we have, peer-reviewed articles that we have in this issue of the Proceedings and Journal, both offer some views on what one should prefer in this context, but even more puts the issue into context. For instance, the Danish General Clemmensen, who has a background as a head of the Baltic Defense College, cautions against going directly to this issue and wants instead to start with the issue of what do you expect the Americans to do in the Nordic area? What is their posture as regards Kola Peninsula, Kaliningrad? And from there, go to the issue of what are the expectations of the Nordic countries in view of Swedish and Finnish accession. The Danes are, of course, aware that expectations, there will be more competition for American attention, so to say, in this new situation. And the question is, where does that leave Denmark in the NATO structures? What happens with the Baltic Sea as a more of a Mare Nostrum for NATO? And how does Denmark link up with the northern processes of coordination? On the Norwegian side, we have several valuable contributions from corresponding members of our Academy, both the former Chod, Chief of Norwegian Defense, Sverre Diesen, and the Defense Policy Director in Oslo, Svein Eftestad, who both stress the importance of taking into account that accession of Sweden and Finland will add considerable territory to NATO. And there are primarily, of course, from a Norwegian perspective, air and maritime issues involved in this context, including the importance of Göteborg as the chief harbor for reinforcements also to Norway. So they obviously have this main perspective looking at Norfolk. That's only natural.